Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to raise $100,000 in less than 30 days in private money for your real estate investing business. This is Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick. Do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button if you want to receive more content like this. So let's get into it. What, how, and where do we raise private money? So let's talk about private money. I also call private money soft money. What does that mean? It means it's much easier to get. So many of you are so preconditioned and understand the word hard money and you think that's easy. I'm going to teach you in this video that it's actually the opposite of what you think. The reason they call it hard money is because it's hard. It seems easy to get, but it's going to be painful in expenses and fees. And in the end, you really want soft money, also known as private money. When I figured out how to raise private money after my second year in business, a whole new world opened up to me. So remember, we're all here to get started in wholesaling, and that's how I got my start. And I still do wholesaling 19 years later, but I will tell you, raising private money is the key to exploding your business. So Rick, how do I raise private money? And guys, most of you are going to overcomplicate this. I know I did when I started. So you don't have to go spend hundreds of hours of research to do it. You literally start with what we call your COI, which is your circle of influence. Who's in your circle of influence? It's going to be your friends, your coworkers, your networks, your family. Guys, the people that are around you, your colleagues, people you went to school with and you're still in contact with. These are the people you're going to raise private money for you. So let me give you a little tip. Do not start with family. I find family is the last people you ever want to go to raise private money. That's just how it is in my scenario. And most people I've coached and educated over the years. Don't start off with family because it seems a little bit sharky, if you know what I mean. So even though you're trying to do them a favor, the hardest part about raising your first $100,000 is raising that first $100,000. I know it seems like a lot, but here's the key, okay? You only need one, maybe two people to raise this money. That's it. You don't have to do it from hundreds of people. It's not like taking $5 or $10 from each person. One or two people. Can you find somebody in your circle of influence that has liquid cash that's looking for an investment? That's where we start, okay? And if you can get through that first one or two people, that $100,000, you can do this in 30 days or less. You know why? Because I did it and you're absolutely no different than me. So the next thing you want to do is just go and network with everybody. You have to network in real estate investing, specifically in wholesaling. You have to tell everybody what you do. There's no better feeling than getting deals from people that just refer them to you. We know how to pay for them. We know how to do the cold calling, how to pull a list, how to do the mailing. So you always want to be networking because to get a deal without spending money on marketing is awesome. And the only way you're going to get that is by networking. So when we talk about networking, raising private money, it is not about sending emails. It is not about going online. It is literally face-to-face meetings, okay? That's how you network for raising private money. You cannot call people and just ask them to raise money. If you want to call to set up a meeting about it, then that's great. But you have to have belly-to-belly, face-to-face when you're asking for private money. It's very insincere when you ask it over an email, a phone call, or anything like that. So do me a favor, make sure when you ask someone for it, you're in front of them. So listen, Rick, how do I ask them? It just seems like it's going to be a really awkward conversation. Guys, be you. I don't need some slick talking salesman doing this. Be authentic, be yourself, be in your skin, but have an idea what you're doing. So here's how I start on a conversation. Let's just kind of role play it. The first thing I'm going to do is, so whoever I'm targeting at the point, hopefully you have a relationship set up with them. How do I get a relationship, Rick? You start networking. Networking takes time. So you haven't started, probably stop this video and go start networking. But I network with them. Hopefully you get a relationship from them. And I'm going to ask them, hey, John, what's your current investment strategies? I'm going to tell you this. Most people have no idea what their current investment strategies, or it goes something like this. I put money in my 401k and I got money in the bank. That's great, John. I'm so glad that you set money aside for you and your family. Let me ask you, what kind of return are you getting on that money? A lot of times they don't even know. If you have money in the bank, you're usually getting like zero. Interest rates have been so low so long for the last 4 or 5 years. The days of earning 8 and 9% in the bank do not exist. So ask them, what are they doing on their 401k and stuff like that? Most banks pay less than 1% on the money. So the idea is kind of bring up their personal pain, and they feel like they have no influence. They have no idea what they're investing their money in, and it just feels ice cold to them. So once we start that conversation then we'll ask them, what's your money secured against? Well, if it's in the stock market, it's kind of all over the place. And there's been a lot of turmoil in the stock market historically over years, and people tend to react to it. That leads you to this key question. So when you're doing it, it's like, John, what if I could show you an X amount of rate of return? Is that something you would be open to? Now, if John said, I'm earning 1 or 2% at the bank, say, John, what if I could show you a 3 times return of the money you're earning right now? We're talking maybe 6, 5, 6%. John's definitely going to be open to talking to you. And the next part you're going to lead it into is talking about your business. Now, I'm not here to tell you what your elevator pitch is. You've got to have that down by now. You really got to have your pitch down when you network with people. So by now, they should know you're into buying real estate at huge discount prices and churning them fast for a high return. Simply as that. Word it the way you want, whatever makes you comfortable in your own skin when you do it. And typically when I do that, they're going to listen, Rick, I've always been interested in what you do, but it seems like really risky and scary. I could never do anything that. I say, listen, John, perfect. What if I could show you that rate of return we talked about? I can 3 times your rate, and I secure it to the real estate that I'm flipping. That way you're guaranteed protected investment on this. Is that something you're open to? So basically he says, how would that work? Well, it's real simple. If you lend me, say, $100,000, I secure it against the property with a mortgage, which basically means there's a lien against the property. And then I also give you what I call a promissory note. And it's a commitment for me to repay the debt that you've paid into this property. Is that something you're open to? And right then and there, John's going to go like this. Well, how involved do I have to be? Do I have to answer phones? Do I have to meet with contractors? John, listen, you don't have to do anything. It's literally just a loan. And in return, I'm going to give you X amount of percentage, and it's secured with the mortgage and the note. It's about as safe as you can get in real estate. So there is risk investing in real estate, but if you like what I do and you want to get involved, is this something you want to move forward with? And just be quiet. A lot of times they won't make their decision right there. They'll take a couple of days, ask questions. Sometimes they want to involve the spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever it is. Give them time, let them do it. Guys, it's a simple conversation like that. I massively overcomplicated when I did this, but here's the key is, so Rick, how do I get that first 100K? So I'm going to give you 3 quick tips of what you have to do to raise this money, okay? By the way, I already told you that the first 100K is the hardest. After that, it's a piece of cake. It's millions after that. So we've got to get some traction under our belt. So what I want to do is, I typically paid more to get my first money. I would give 10 to 12%. I've given as high as 15%. To me, the money's not in the interest rate. Well, Rick, how can you afford to do it? Guys, listen, if I'm buying a $100,000 property and I'm paying 10%, that comes to like $700, $800 a month. If I'm flipping the property in a month or two, they're going to earn what, $1,500, $1,600 off of it. Hopefully I'm making $25K north of that, which I do. Man, that is an awesome deal. Now, guys, these are deals that you have to fund for one reason or another. This is another strategy to add to your assignment of contract, and it works. And here's the key. You only need 1 or 2 people. So we do 1 property, 1 investor, pay them a higher interest rate, usually an 8 to 10% interest rate to let them know you're paying attention. And I'm willing to pay that person more because they took a risk in me. But you know what? After I get that deal, now I have traction. I have proof of concept. And I have a track record, which is going to make it easier to refer other business. What you can also do, if you pay a higher interest rate, you can offer, if you were to give, say, 10 or 12%, you say, listen, I'll pay you that amount, but it usually takes me about 3 months to flip this property. Can I just defer the interest-only payments until I flip the property, and I'll give you one big check at the same time? Most people never, ever argue with it. I just include it in the deal if I offer a higher amount. If I'm giving them 5 or 6%, I'll give them a monthly interest check, no problem at all. Guys, ask for interest-only payments because you can, and most people expect to do that. So you're going to pay a little bit more because you got to get your first deal. We're going to defer payments, interest only, get the deals done. Most of your deals need to be wrapped up in 90 days, guys. You owe it any longer, it winds up being a project, and we're not here to rehab houses for a living. And the last thing is, once you have it done, they're so excited to get their check back. Guess what? They're going to ask you to reinvest it. And that's the key to this. Not only are they going to ask you to reinvest it and go, listen, I kind of give you a starter rate. I can keep your money busy. I got another deal. And then if you want to lower the interest rate a little bit, just be careful. Don't be greedy. And here's the key to raising more private money. Do you have anybody else who would be interested in investing in my real estate company on active deals secured with a mortgage and a note as a passive investor? Meaning, I'm not going to bug you with phone calls or anything like that. You don't have to do the work. And after that, you'll find you'll start attracting money. Yes, you have to work to get the first 100K, but it's only 1 or 2 people. So I like to get 100K. I sign it to the property and you're off to the races. And then you get a relationship with that person. They see your track record and they love working with you. So many people want to do this business, but they have no idea how to do it. And it feels really sexy to them to say, I invest in real estate and I'm a private investor. And when you ask for referrals, like right now, I know on spot, I can raise millions of additional dollars from what I already have in my company. And I started just like you. So just ask. Simple conversations. Go back to the video on the role play section. It's really easy. And eventually you become an expert on it. So listen, before I end this video, I want you to understand 3 key things to make sure you raise that 100K legally and keep you out of trouble. So there's some rules you have to follow when you raise private money. Number 1, I recommend 1 investor, 1 property, 1 mortgage, 1 promissory note. It keeps it clean and lean. And here's the key is, if it's a loan, it's legal. That's all you have to understand when you raise your first $100,000 in private money. Make sure it's a loan. It's not a business venture. It's not a profit sharing, anything like that. It's literally just a loan that makes you completely compliant and it makes it legal, and it's going to keep you out of a lot of trouble. So understand, you must write a loan. That is the safe and legal way to protect you and protect your private investors. Number 2, please, for the love of God, do not solicit to raise money on the internet. You are opening up a whole nother can of worms. It's solicitation for money. I'm not going to get into the legalities. You got SEC compliance, all sorts of stuff. Guys, don't do it. You need to have a face-to-face relationship with someone and get to know them. No stranger is going to give you $100,000 over the internet that doesn't know you off some sort of Facebook ad. And understand, no internet soliciting. It rarely does it work. Number 2, it makes you look slimy. And number 3, you have some legal issues if you ever get challenged. So guys, no internet soliciting for money. I know it sounds easy, but it's wrong. And there's rules that govern people raising money like that. And you have to have all sorts of disclosures. You couldn't fit it in your ad if you wanted to. Last but not least, you're going to get tempted. You work with investors to go, listen, Rick, I'll give you $100,000, but I want 15 or 25% of the profit, which is defined as equity sharing. Plus they're giving you real money. You now are open to scrutiny, to SEC regulation. Don't go there. You don't want to do it. So always make sure you define an interest rate and their principal amount, and it's a loan and you're completely covered. Don't ever offer an equity stake to a passive investors. I don't want to get into the whole legal ramifications because this could go on for hours. Don't do it. Even if it sounds tempting, don't do it. The exception of the rule is if it's your partner and they're going to have an active role in your company, meaning they're going to help with a rehab or they're going to help with a rental or something like that. But to keep you out of hot water, Do not offer an equity stake in any deal you do where you raise private money. It keeps you out of that safe umbrella. So, quick review, guys. You can easily go out there and raise $100K in private money in less than 30 days just by following the advice I give you on this video. I'm telling you, if you go out and do it and apply yourself, it's really simple. Remember, the first 100K is the hardest. Once you get it, you'll then have a track record and you'll start attracting confidence, because you know what? It makes you more confident. It makes you the expert in it. And do not complicate this strategy. It's really, really simple. And remember the 3 keys to keep it legal. Make sure 1 investor, 1 loan, do not solicit over the internet, and do not offer an equity stake. It just goes way outside the realm if you're not used to raising private money. So guys, I hope you liked the video. I want to hear stories of people going out raising 100K. You help your business, you help people earn extra money, and it will open up doors you never even thought were imagined. Do me a favor, if you like what you hear, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and give me your comments on what you think on private money. Do you think you can do it? Because I was just like you guys. You can do it. It doesn't matter your age. Guys, go out there, get deals, and get so many deals you got to raise private money so you can expand your real estate wholesaling empire. This is Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick, and I'll see you soon.